Hello, ladies. I am going to show you how easy it is to apply some Jamberry nail wraps today. For the purpose of this, I actually did a video. I kind of did it backwards because I already had nail wraps on. So I did a video showing how to remove the nail wraps, and I took two of my nail wraps off so that I can show you how to apply them and just show you how easy it is to do. Some of the tools that I use for that is my nail pusher, which this is my Jamberry nail pusher. I like it. It's a cuticle pusher, and you can use it to push your cuticles back and get prepared to put on your nail wraps. But I also use it, like after I put my nail wrap on, I use it to kind of make sure that I get a good tight seal. So I rub that over it, and I like the Jamberry one because it's rubber on the tip instead of plastic. So if you don't have a Jamberry one or don't get the application kit, you can also just find any of them. But if you can find a rubber one, that's really good. And this is our nail file, and it's really coarse because we use it to get the excess off the end of our wraps whenever we get those applied. So I'll show you how to use that in a few minutes. And then we have the nail scissors, and you can see they're a little curved. I believe they also have the straight ones for sale, but I believe these are the ones that come in the kit if you buy the application kit. And then my favorite thing, as much as I love Jamberry nail wraps and use them often, this is my favorite application tool. This is what you can use in place of this is your hair dryer. This is my heat source, and it is the mini heater that we have at Jamberry. I believe it's $19, and it is a lifesaver if you love nail wraps, and I highly recommend that you buy one of these, but you don't have to. A hair dryer works just as well. I use it because I'm usually in the bed with my husband, and he's watching TV, or we're sitting in the living room watching TV, and when I'm applying my wraps, and this is super quiet. I'll actually it also has the felt. This is where the heat comes out, and there's felt here so that it'll keep you a little bit better from being burned if you was to stick your finger up to it really closely. But like I said, you can use the hair dryer, but listen how quiet this is. I just want to turn that on. Can you hear it? Promise it's working. There's the little fan. You can probably see it blowing my hair. But I love it. It heats up quick. It's so quiet. And I'm going to go ahead and leave that on for the purpose of this video because I will need that. I have my nail wraps with me. Now, this is not a full sheet because I've used a few of them. A lot of people, when they do this, they just peel the wrap up and cut it in half. But some of mine I have to trim to get a really perfect fit around my nail bed. So what I do is I go ahead and cut each wrap that I'm using. Like, you just take your wrap and put it up next to your, I don't know if you can see that, but you just put it up next to your finger and kind of size which one you're going to need. Now, you don't want it to touch the skin on the outside anywhere near your cuticle. You don't want it to touch. If it's completely on your nail bed only, it will have a lot better fit and stay a lot longer. And of course, that's what we want. We want to have nails that are beautiful as long as we possibly can. So I have already, this is the one I'm going to reapply here, and then I have this one that I'm going to reapply to this nail. And I just cut them in half already. They're still on the plastic. You can do it either way. Just, there's no wrong way to do it. Just whatever is more comfortable for you and easier for you to do. But okay, I am going to go ahead and apply the wrap on my middle finger. I also use my orange stick in this process. Basically, before you get started, you want to push back all of your cuticles. Make sure that they're really pushed back good, and use a buffer. Now, a lot of buffers have like different sides. They'll have like the shiny, like you can buff them, and then one side will shine them up really pretty. You don't want them slick and shiny because you want them roughed up a little to help adhere the wraps. So, which Jamberry has these. I believe this comes in the application kit too. And it is kind of just the buffing, the really light buffer all the way around. So I love theirs because they're great like that. Sometimes you might be able to find them in the store that way. But just use the buffing side of a buffing block and kind of just lightly go over your nail after you get all your cuticles off, and make sure there's an invisible cuticle that a lot of times is actually like right against your other cuticle on the nail bed. So if the most that you can get off of that, the better. You can soak them a little and then take your orange stick and kind of, go around that area and get as much of that off as you can and get your cuticles pushed back. And then what you want to do is, when you're ready, after you do that, you want to take alcohol. You can use an alcohol prep wipe. These actually come in your application kit. I'm not sure how many it tells on the website. I'm not sure how many comes in the kit, but you can get these, and they're great, really good wipes to use on your nails. Or you can just take alcohol on a cotton pad, or you can take, a lot of diabetics, they buy the alcohol prep pads when they check their sugar. You can get those and just lightly rub right before you apply your nail wraps. And if that is if your nails are really dry and that you find that they dry it out too much with the alcohol, you can also use like peroxide to clean them really well. But you want your nail beds clean, and you want to have them buffed, so make sure you buff them and then wipe them clean so that you don't have that residue from the buffing. But once you get that done, moving on here, you start, now you just peel this up off of the plastic. I usually just get the edge, and I use the flat side. Some people use this end, the little, the pointy end, because it's easier to get it up. But you peel the wrap off the plastic, and now, like I said, if you're doing that from the sheet, you can lift it up and just cut it in half. That's perfectly fine, just whatever works best for you. And then I'm going to take this and heat it, and it only takes just a few seconds, and as you can see, it's getting real pliable. And then you just want to take that, I'll try to do this where you can see. You just take that and you line it up with your nail bed, and if you start to get it sideways or crooked or not far enough back, now is the time to go ahead and try to reposition that. But once you get it where you want it, you just start pushing down. Now I use the 1, 2, 3 method, so you just concentrate solely on from your cuticle down. I'll try to get a little closer, down to the tip, and don't worry so much about the sides at that first part of the application. Just do that and go down, rub it for a few seconds, and then I'm going to heat one side again for 2 or 3 seconds, and then I'm going to concentrate on going from the center of my nail wrap down to the corner. So I want to do that for a few seconds and make sure I've got that good seal, and then I'm going to go on the other side and go ahead and heat that for a few seconds, and then push from the center down to that side. So you want to make sure it just has a really good tight seal. And then I usually go ahead and take my cuticle pusher, and I don't know if I'm close enough for you to see that. I don't have very good lighting in here, but I just take that and go ahead and make sure I have it down really well. And then you want to take your scissors and just trim some of the excess. I try to do it from underneath because I don't want it to cut into my nail, the top of my nail. But you just cut that off. You don't have to be precise with it or anything. Actually, once you trim that off, let it cool a little bit. What I usually do is go ahead and trim it, and then if I'm doing all of my nails at once, I go ahead and apply the other wraps. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now with the ring finger. And with the sparkly designs, sometimes it takes a little bit more heat. So if I can get where I trimmed it, I didn't give myself any room to peel this off. I have to use the pointy side. Okay, when you get your edge up, then just kind of stick it under there and peel back. You don't want to touch the adhesive if you can help keep from it with your actual fingers. But I'm going to hold it, as you can see, it takes it a few seconds. You can do it from the front and back, and it starts getting bendy and pliable. That's when you want to go ahead and apply it. So once again, I'm going to put this against the center and position that the best I can. And I want to do that, I want to rub it down the center, all the way from the cuticle all the way down to the tip. Hope you can see that. And then I'm going to reapply heat to one side. Do that on this side. Make sure it's good and tight. And then do the other side. And if there is a little bit of a gap, I don't know, I'll show you in just a moment. I'm not sure how much of that you can see right now, but you don't want to touch, like I said, you don't want to touch the outside of your skin, but you cannot tell. I mean, if somebody's really up like this, they can see it, but if you can see, there is, I'll try to show you, I don't know if you can see it, there is a little tiny gap between my nail bed and the cuticle where that is not covered, but you cannot tell that. I mean, all of these have that just to an extent, and you cannot really tell that. And it looks like you just have a perfect manicure, and they will stay on a lot longer if you don't touch them to the skin, because they can curl up and then water gets under them and they can come off a little easier. So I recommend the gap, they call it. And then once you feel like it's adhered well, then you can go ahead, trim that one. And if you have really short nails, like if you've been biting your nails or whatever, you can just trim them right at the edge of your nail and then just kind of smooth them down, and even maybe heat it a little longer again after it's already on your nail, and leave it that way. But if your nail extends past your finger, the next step that you would want to do, I'm going to give this one a few seconds to cool, but it's best to let them cool a little. I mean, you can't really feel them being hot, but just wait a few seconds, and before you start filing, it just makes it a little easier. But the last step that, well, I do one more shot of heat, but the last step that you do is after you trim them and you let them heat and you've got them applied, you take the file, and at a 90-degree angle, you just file straight down. And you keep doing that on the tip end, and you'll see, I don't know if you can see that, you can see how it starts to separate. I don't know if you can see it, but it starts to separate from, the excess will separate from the nail that is applied. So you just do that until that comes off, and might need to help it a little, get in the corner. And you just get that all filed off. Need to get it in the corner, I can't get it good. And then once that's done, I usually take another shot of heat from my little heater here and just go back over it one more last time. It's not really necessary, but I just do one last time with my little cuticle pusher there. I'm actually left-handed, and I'm doing this with my right hand, so if I look a little awkward, I don't really know why I took off the ones on my left hand, but that shows you how easy it is. I'm actually left-handed, and I'm doing this with my right hand just fine. But I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Go ahead and get that filed off, and you want to keep it at a 90-degree angle the best you can, so that it doesn't separate from the top of your nail. You want your wrap to have a really good finish on the top, so try to do that just the best you can at a 90-degree angle. And like I said, if your nails are too short to get the file in there to get the excess off, you can trim them just as, you know, right up to the edge of your nail, and then from there you can just kind of push it down and heat it again and make sure it gets a good seal at the end. But I'm going to do one last shot of heat on this one. Go ahead and use my pusher. And as you can see, there's the two wraps that I just reapplied. Perfect. It only took a few moments, and I promise the first time it takes a little longer, but once you get used to it, it goes just like that. And you have beautiful nails. Alright, thanks for joining me.